Welcome to United Network News, the official news channel for CARE, the Center for Amity and Restoration of Earth. I'm Sunny Galt. At UNN, you get the real news. Through our field messengers, we show you the truth about what's really taking place in our communities. We also bring you stories to help you remember who you are and why you're here, as well as regional stories that impact the people. And our World Situation Report reveals what's happening throughout the multiverse. We are here to restore Earth. In the U.S., it is Wednesday, September 25th, 2024. Check out the amazing architecture in this Romanian city. Today we'll visit this tourist destination and learn more about its history. And in Louisiana, in the U.S., the city of Cottonwood is going to great lengths to preserve its water tower. Learn more about their efforts to ensure clean water is available to all residents. Communicating with babies. It's becoming easier in the new Earth. Today we'll discuss how to best help these new arrivals to our planet. As the violence in Brazil continues, the country is decreasing its use of lethal force. So what does this mean for police and military? And in China, hotels are banning electric cars due to the risk of battery fires.
This is Calen Giff, messenger for United Network News. Here's a look at today's field messenger reports from all around the world. The beautiful buildings in this Romanian city make it a must-visit destination for architecture lovers. UNN field messenger Monica guides us through this architectural marvel.
Hi, this is Field Messenger Monica reporting for UNN from Oradea in Romania. Considered the new tourist jewel of Romania, nicknamed the Art Nouveau capital of the country, Oradea is a place of architectural spectacle and green oasis. Nowhere in Romania will you find more beautiful and spectacular buildings, true architectural gems. Recently, in an European ranking, Oradea came first in the category Best Art Nouveau Destination in Europe. With an architecture dominated by the Viennese Art Nouveau style called Secession, as well as the classical Art Nouveau style, most of them built in the 19th and 20th centuries, the buildings in the historical center of Oradea are a real delight for the tourists. Another imposing building is the Church with Moon. It is a combination of craftsmanship and mechanics, harmoniously found in the mechanism of the clock in the church tower, unique in Europe, which is designed to set in motion a sphere or a moon with a diameter of 1 meter, painted half black and half gold, and for more than 200 years has shown all the phases of the moon with maximum precision. On the day of my visit, the sphere was completely black. It was a new moon. The theater building is one of the best examples of Oradea's eclectic style. The facades are neoclassical with neo-Renaissance elements. Palaces and iconic buildings each have a story to tell. Beyond their outward appearance, it's worth discovering the motivations of the owners who commissioned their construction. Thank you for watching. Bye.
In Cottonwood, Louisiana, protective measures are taken to renovate and preserve the town's water tower. UNN Field Messenger Mike tells us about this restoration project.
Hello, Mike Lopez, Field Messenger for United Network News. I'm coming to you from Cottonport, Louisiana, where the town has taken matters into its own hands to refurbish the water tower. But today I want to talk with you about what is used to cover the water tower while they're working on it. Here we see the installation of the heavy-duty pulley system that will be crucial throughout this sandblasting project. This system, designed for efficiency and safety, allows the workers to raise and lower the industrial-grade containment curtain with precision. The curtain, made from durable polyethylene, is lifted into place, enveloping the 130-foot water tower. With a diameter of approximately 150 feet, this containment system uses nearly 10,000 square yards of material to ensure the area is fully protected during the sandblasting process. As the sandblasting begins, the curtain plays a vital role in containing dust, debris, and hazardous materials like old paint and rust, ensuring a safe environment. The water tower, which holds 250,000 gallons and is refilled 3 times daily, undergoes meticulous cleaning and repair to maintain its structural integrity. The town of Cottonport recognizes the importance of protective measures in preserving our infrastructure. By taking these steps now, we ensure that our water system remains robust and reliable, no matter what challenges lie ahead. It's this dedication to self-sufficiency and community well-being that will keep Cottonport strong. This is Mike Lopez reporting for United Network News.
We want you to become a UNN Field Messenger. These are everyday people just like you who want to make a difference in their community. You don't need any special training or equipment. Just use the camera on your mobile phone and show us what's happening in your area. You send us your videos and our production team will create the report for you. Our website is up and running at unitednetwork.earth. You can submit your Field Messenger reports directly through the Field Messenger tab at the top of the page. You can also email your reports to our email address at fieldmessenger@unitednetwork.earth.
Hi everyone, this is Leanne.
And I'm Jerry.
Coming to you from Tamworth, New South Wales.
Hi there, this is Rick from Arizona.
My name is Uchechukwu Obenebam from Igbo tribe, Nigeria.
Hi, this is Scott from Utah.
I'm Annette from Agassiz, British Columbia.
Hi, I'm Marcus Surzet from Manipur State, India.
Real people reporting real stories from all around the world. That's what United Network News is all about.
Can you clap?
We had a huge flood, which some call the flood of the century.
No fake news here. Our field messengers share personal experiences of what's really happening in their community.
We got some nice fish right here.
At UNN, you are the news.
My family and I had a very good time.
Take the next step. Become a UNN field messenger and share the real news with the world.
In the northwest province of South Africa, I am United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I am United Network News, and if it's going to be, it's up to me.
It's going to be, it's up to me. If it is going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to us. Field Messages, United Network News. See you next time.
Communicating with our children is becoming more natural with the new Earth, and that includes our babies. Their body may be new, but their soul has likely been around for millions of years, and it's up to us to help them navigate their new surroundings. Allison Ellsbury is a former occupational therapist who is here to assist babies and children to anchor their light on Earth while deepening their connection to nature and the divine. So Allison is back with us. Allison, we're talking about babies today. Love talking about babies.
Me too.
Well, we've said before that in order to honor our children's gifts, they need to have this connection to their body. Mm-hmm. And we've also said that it's better if that connection happens as soon as possible. So what can we do as parents with, I'm talking about we little ones, or maybe even grandparents or caregivers or whoever. How can we help them in this process to make that connection as quickly as possible?
I love that you're asking this question and that we get to talk about it because it's so important and it's really what the babies are really asking from us.
Yeah.
what they're really wanting is their body to be honored and treated as meaningful and sacred. And so this can look as simple as letting your baby know that you're going to move him or her before you actually do it. So if a baby is, say, sleeping or on the floor, whether they're laying down or sitting up, think about how ingrained it is and how easy it is to come up behind a baby and just pick them up really quickly, pop them on your hip, and then just go about what you're doing. And then they're just kind of like, whoa, what's going on? Yeah. But if we actually take a moment, we face them face to face and really treat them as the reverent soul that they are, and let them know, okay, I'm going to pick you up now and we're going to go change your nappy or your diaper, or it's feeding time or bath time. I'm so excited to have this connection with you. Something as simple as that. Just letting them know what's about to happen in their environment. Their nervous systems actually really appreciate that. The other thing that I often recommend is really feeling out how many people a baby's passed to. Meaning, if you're at a gathering, it's so common to just override maybe the baby's energy or what their nervous system's really needing. And the baby gets passed from person to person and everyone's loving on the baby. But maybe their facial expression or their body language or their soul is actually really saying, hey, this is too much for me. Yeah. Or we're not being discerning as a parent in who's actually holding, your baby and what their emotional experience is in that moment. So having, clarity and discernment even around that. Those are two really beautiful ways that parents and grandparents and anyone who comes across a baby can actually start to connect and communicate in that way. Literally showing them from the beginning, helping them program and set those neural pathways into, oh, my body's actually really being honored. It matters. Someone's telling me what's going on. Yeah. My caregiver's emotionally attuned to my needs. And my needs right now are, I have a body and I'd like it to be honored.
It's like a level of respect.
Absolutely.
For your child. Yeah.
Absolutely. And this simple thing can actually make all the difference in the world, because literally they start to get programmed with my body matters. This is a meaningful physical form, shape, and space that I'm in. This is a safe place for my light to land here.
That's a beautiful way of looking at it. I love that.
Yeah.
Limiting exposure to screen time is a choice made by some families due to concerns regarding the negative impacts on mental health and academic performance. Some kids spend at least 5 hours daily on platforms like TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram. For older students, a smartphone is a tool for communication at school, enhancing social interactions and facilitating meetings within interest-based groups. Families often establish rules around phone and social media use, encouraging a balance between online and real-life interactions. These limits result in higher grades, restful sleep, and reduced anxiety in teens. Parents are delaying smartphone use until age 13 and limiting social media access until schooling has finished at 18, focusing instead on academic study and extracurricular hobbies. Schools are also encouraging face-to-face socialization by reducing phone usage during school hours. Overall, while technology overuse presents challenges for youngsters, responsible use can support older students in building networks and pursuing their interests mindfully. If you're interested in knowing more, you can go to their website at waituntil8th.org. In an exciting breakthrough for poultry farming, researchers in Germany have developed a portable device that combines UV disinfection, electrically charged light particles, and particle filtration. This cutting-edge technology acts as both an antibiotic alternative and an air purifier, significantly improving barn hygiene and animal welfare. Using light-emitting diodes, the device disinfects the air continuously, effectively neutralizing germs by damaging their DNA while producing no harmful emissions. The addition of UVA rays enhances air quality by breaking down harmful organic compounds like ammonia from the atmosphere. Easily installed on the ceiling, it is adaptable for use in both poultry and pig farming facilities, offering flexibility that can be adapted to specific needs. This innovation reduces antibiotic use, lowers the risks of resistant germs, and minimizes contamination risk wastewater. With the potential to reduce antibiotic use in poultry farms, this innovation stands to benefit both livestock and consumers. In China, a robotic guide dog may provide a tech solution to the shortage of trained canines for more than 20 million Chinese who are visually impaired. Equipped with cameras and sensors, this prototype is designed to assist people with sight issues in navigating their environments independently. It can identify obstacles and traffic signals while planning safe routes and following user commands using voice recognition technology. The six-legged design offers enhanced stability, ensuring smooth movement on uneven surfaces. Once fully developed, the robot guide dog could help many with sight challenges, not only in China. We are United Network News. Every day, we release real stories from real people all over the world.
Field Messenger reporting from Gold Coast, Australia,
Denmark,
Canada,
Uganda,
from Atlanta, in Southern California.
In their own words, people like you share what's really happening in their area. At UNN, you are the news. You are creating a new world with infinite possibilities. You are the restoration plan. Come join us for the real news every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, only on United Network. We're UNN, and we're taking back the news. The U.S. Department of Commerce is planning to ban cars with technology from China. This rule could affect software by 2027 and hardware by 2030. China, a major car parts supplier, dominates the market with its low-cost LiDAR technology, which measures ground elevation, important for autonomous driving. LiDAR data could be misused if intercepted or altered, raising security concerns. The focus is on cybersecurity and automated systems amid increasing incidents affecting connected vehicles. American automakers like GM and Ford face challenges as these companies may need to shift production out of China. The rule could halt imports of models like the Lincoln Nautilus and Buick Envision, both made in China. The move follows a recent 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles, reducing their import to the U.S. In Canada, the Ontario government has introduced a new long-term care law to move more patients from hospitals to nursing homes. The law faces criticism as it may limit patients' choices about where they live and how their health information is shared. Critics argue it particularly affects seniors who are already vulnerable. Families are concerned about a $400 daily fine for patients who refuse to go to nursing homes they didn't choose. The government says the law is necessary to free up hospital beds for urgent cases, and patients do not have a right to occupy hospital beds for free after discharge. While some hospital leaders support the law for improving patient flow, advocacy groups argue it compromises patient autonomy and security. Despite objections, the law remains in effect without public consultation before its implementation. Brazil is implementing new nationwide police guidelines to decrease violence and protect civil rights. These rules address police encounters, use of force, and handcuffing techniques. They apply to military, civil, and municipal police, emphasizing firearms should be used only as a last resort, and handcuff usage must be justified in writing. This initiative responds to rising police violence, with more than 6,000 deaths from security force actions reported in 2023. While opponents argue the guidelines may hinder police work, supporters believe they will enhance public safety and trust. Compliance will be encouraged through financial incentives, with states risking funding cuts for non-adherence. Also, the guidelines aim to inform individuals of their rights during police stops and home searches, promoting transparency and protecting civil liberties. The ministry plans to release a draft for public feedback. Ireland's decision to amend a controversial bill on hate crime legislation has sparked widespread debate and concern. The bill seeks to impose tougher sentences for crimes driven by bias against individuals based on traits like race and origin. Critics argue it is vague and may harm free expression. Advocates are concerned that removing key provisions weakens protection for vulnerable communities, while others argue it could turn into a form of blasphemy law. Opinions are divided, with some seeing the changes as a concession to anti-immigrant sentiments. Advocacy groups argue for balancing new laws with educational initiatives to reduce prejudice without limiting free speech. The Oktoberfest beer festival in Germany is famous for its lively atmosphere and traditional brews. However, there is a growing trend toward non-alcoholic beverages. Many attendees now prefer non-alcoholic beers and cocktails that offer the flavor of beer without the hangover. A production of these drinks has more than doubled for the past decade, indicating a shift in consumer preferences. Bars, especially in Berlin, have responded by offering more alcohol-free options due to increased demand. This change is partly driven by greater awareness of the health impacts associated with alcohol consumption. People are becoming more mindful of their drinking choices, prioritizing well-being. The introduction of alcohol-free spaces, even at traditional beer festivals like Oktoberfest, reflects a trend toward a more health-conscious lifestyle. In Zhejiang province, China, hotels have banned electric cars from their garages after several fires linked to lithium-ion batteries. The fires, often triggered by overheating, pose significant risks, especially in garages with low ceilings that hinder firefighting efforts. Smaller electric vehicles like scooters are particularly prone to these fires, with hundreds reported globally in 2023, causing numerous injuries and fatalities. Experts point out modern electric cars are generally safer due to advanced design and cooling systems. Yet, as the number of electric vehicles grows, there is a rising call for more resources and training to better equip firefighters to handle these unique fires efficiently. Malaysia has cut its palm oil tax to support its struggling producers facing tough market conditions. The country is dealing with competition from Indonesia, which recently reduced its levy on crude palm oil. Also, Malaysian producers are feeling the pressure from India's increase in import taxes on vegetable oils, making their palm oil less competitive. To help alleviate financial burdens, the Finance Ministry is considering reducing the windfall tax on palm oil producers. Producers are also dealing with high production costs caused by weather challenges and labor shortages, which have squeezed profit margins. European Union regulations targeting deforestation threaten market access. This law may exclude smallholders from European markets if they can't prove sustainable sourcing, and Malaysia's attempts to contest these regulations have faced resistance. Australia's leading supermarkets, Woolworths and Coles, are facing allegations over misleading price promotions. From September 2021 to May 2023, both retailers reportedly increased profit prices before placing them on promotions, making discounts appear more significant. Products affected include cookies, throat lozenges, and pet food. Both supermarkets claim the increases were due to rising supplier and operational costs. As a result, they may face penalties and community service orders, including funding charities to deliver meals. It is argued the price changes misled customers, influencing their purchasing decisions during rising living costs. South Africa is planning to boost tourism from China and India with its trusted tour-operated scheme launching in January of 2025. This program aims to simplify the visa application process by reducing bureaucracy and facilitating large tour group visits. In 2023, South Africa welcomed 93,000 Chinese tourists, yet they accounted for only 1.8% of all international visitors, while Indian tourists made up 3.9%. Approved tour operators will collaborate with the Department of Home Affairs to help with the visa application processing. The hospitality sector has welcomed this change, hoping it will draw more visitors from China. With tourism contributing to economic growth and supporting thousands of jobs, the trusted tour-operated scheme will also benefit tourists from other countries that require visas. South Africa ranks amongst the top 5 most visited countries in Africa. In a water-scarce village in Limpopo, the northernmost province in South Africa, a young man has decided to dig a 15-meter well to secure underground water for his community. Despite finding some water, he plans to dig deeper for a sufficient supply. The villagers, numbering more than 3,000 households, have struggled for years with limited access to clean water. Residents typically collect water from a river, where they also wash clothes and let cattle graze, receiving tap water only once a month. The nearby dam is deemed unsafe, and 4 boreholes have been non-functional for more than 25 years. An ongoing water crisis led to recent protests, but the problem persists. The municipality plans to upgrade the water system, but efforts have not yet changed the community's situation.
Football season is now. Don't miss the action. Get all of your games in one place. At United TV, don't pay an arm and a leg to keep up with the action. For as little as $15.99 per month, you will get it all. With multi-screen viewing, make this season your winning season. Go to unitedtv.org and sign up today.
And now, the World Situation Report with Kimberly Gogan from the Office of the Guardian. The United Nations General Assembly in New York may have some interesting consequences for the deep state. And sources, life force reaches Earth. Find out what's next. Now here's Kimberly Gogan with the Office of the Guardian. Hey, Kim.
Happy, Wednesday?
Happy Wednesday. I know, the days kind of run together, but how's your schedule, by the way? Are you getting like a little bit more time to yourself? Is that still going good?
I don't know if I'm getting more time to myself, but I'm getting more time to do other things.
So that's good. Other stuff besides like, destroy the deep state,
Yeah, I'm getting to do more of some things that make me happy, that excite me. Speaking of excitement, we have a new way of doing news. So I'm going to go into more detail because that seemed to have people a little bit. But I'm getting to do some new things that are more in alignment with care, more in alignment with the future. And we have some exciting news about that stuff too. That's kind of started happening today. So I say happy Wednesday, but it's also happy 3 days after the equinox, and some interesting stuff started transpiring overnight. So let's talk about the regular stuff first. So exciting things that we are doing that make me happy. Okay, so news. Let's talk about why we're changing the news and what's going to be different about it. We've been talking about this now for a couple of weeks. And what we've kind of figured out is that, you know, some of your friends and family that are just kind of waking up and asking questions, everybody kind of comes into this waking up experience differently. It's not the same for everyone. And we tried to figure out different things that people want to know as they're waking up. And listening to me in my world situation reports might not be your first way to kind of enter into what's going on in the world. And, you know, but we do have other ways of kind of allowing you the option to share some of the videos with your friends and family, depending on where they're at and what they want to know about. So here's what we've decided to do interim-wise. So we have a news report that will go out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the news is going to be comprised of more in-depth stories to come from Miss Sunny. So that means we're going to talk about if there's a situation going on somewhere in the world or something that's happening in various communities. We're going to get more information about that out to you, meaning the stories are going to be a lot longer. You'll know where it's going on, if it's something new, like a new service, like health services in South Africa or something that's available. You'll know where those people are. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk to those people that are involved or people affected by a certain situation. So they're going to be, Sunny's kind of excited about this, as far as I know.
I am, yeah. Yeah, I think it's good. You know, we want to get more people involved as well. In fact, just this morning, I posted on the Field Messenger Telegram group because one of the stories that I'm working on for next week requires, or maybe not requires, but I would like to have input from you guys, the people that watch the news, our field messengers, to contribute to these stories. I mean, obviously you can still do field messenger reports, but there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to do, you know, if I was, you know, we had like a regular news station, we would call this the man on the street, which Kim, we've talked about how mainstream media uses that to convince people of whatever their narrative is. But that's a real thing, to get people's opinion of what's going on or how they feel about an issue or something that's going on, that's happening. And so I just posted a video this morning to get just videos of people recording their opinion on something. So we're going to bring more of that kind of content into the news. We're going to spend more time with stories. We're, like Kim said, we're going to get a little bit more in depth. I mean, give us a little bit of time because this is all new for us. So it's fewer stories, but I think that the stories are going to be a lot more worthwhile. You're going to feel a deeper connection to the story. And hopefully it's going to have, you know, enough information to really make a difference out there, as opposed to kind of just skimming the surface. We're kind of giving you highlights right now.
Sure.
So let's go a little bit deeper, you know, and really explore stuff. And for me, because I've really been thinking about, well, what really is news? And I don't think it's just, you know, the latest event or something going on. News is something that's new, but it could be just new to you. So we're going to talk about topics too that maybe information has been out there for a while, but maybe it's new to you. Maybe that's other content that you can share with somebody else that has never heard about that. Wow, I really didn't know that was an issue. Information's been out there a while, but we're trying to create it in like this, you know, these groups or, you know, these pieces of content so that they're more shareable. So we can, you know, affect more people, so we can get the truth out there in different ways. So yes, I am very excited.
and whenever possible, we can offer possible solutions. Yeah. Well, this isn't going to be there anymore. This is shutting down, whatever it is. But here are things you can do, you know, these are the different places and different resources that are available. Yes. Call Maria at 555-1212, and you can get the information you need or help that you need just, in this particular area. So I think it's going to be, and sometimes they might be community stories that are very exciting. How did you get started, doing what you're doing? And we have a lot of great ideas from our team, and I'm excited to see those ideas. So that's one change you're going to see. So instead of 12 smaller stories, you're going to start to see 3 or so in-depth stories from Miss Sunny. Miss Sunny's not going anywhere. I know I said this is going to be our last week of doing reports together, and everybody panicked. So no, nobody's going anywhere. It's just that we're going to really get to see Sunny shine with what she does best. So, yes, she can read scripts like nobody's business and write them and all that kind of stuff. But this is really going to show us Sunny's journalism skills, how, it's just going to really give you a lot more information, I feel. And news is supposed to be not about, an event necessarily. It's going to be about what it is. What does it mean to the people there? How are the people affected? Here are some solutions and resources in that area. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Now, the next thing you're going to see in we call it the regular news, is you are going to see more of our field messenger reports. So in between the stories, you'll see more field messenger reports and longer field messenger reports. So what we've been doing is we've been posting a lot of field messenger reports, and you'll see them in a different section in our news. But technically, when we started this, the news was supposed to be you. It always has been you. We also have developed with our team some more field messenger assistance. So there'll be meetings once a week, if you need help, reporting a story, whatever it is from your community, or developing your stories, you'll have a lot more assistance then, because we are not doing 30 or 40 stories a week. We're now doing less stories, but with more information, more video proof, more talking to people, more interviews, those kinds of things. So that'll be good. Now, that pretty much is what's going to comprise of our news, except you'll have me. So if there is an event that's going on, a current event in a particular area, then I'll pop in the news. I might be there once, I might be there twice, I might be there 3 times, giving you the backstory on events that your friends and family know about. It's in the news that so-and-so, the Banana Republic, is attacking the North Pole and Santa's upset. Not saying that's happening, but you know what I'm saying. And, then I'll be like, oh, I know all about this place, the Banana Republic and Santa Claus and everything that's going on there. And I can tell you everything. And this is who was involved. Here's the general that started it all. Here's where the information came from. So you'll be getting more in-depth regular news. I call it regular news, but with a little bit of a spin and a backstory to it that doesn't involve all the stuff we talk about in the GIA report. So yeah, that will be the news Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So it's going to be interesting. Sometimes we might pop in there and give you a little bit of science. We might pop in there and give you breaking news if there is something. We might be doing coverage of a live event somewhere. I mean, we just don't know what's going to happen. But you'll still get the real news. You'll still get the current events. You'll still get the information that you need. It's just going to be in a little different way. Okay. So also Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you will have what's called a GIA operational report. You've probably noticed we've been talking a lot more about the Global Intelligence Agency. Now, an intelligence agency is something that everybody's kind of aware of. They know that there's an intelligence agency in pretty much every country. So calling us the Global Intelligence Agency allows for that connection between the weird and wonderful things in the world and how do we know all of this stuff, and something people can sink their teeth into. So as people start watching our regular news and they start seeing backstories, and if they want to take a deep dive into what's really going on, you'll have the GIA report instead of calling it the World Situation Report, and you'll have that 3 days a week just like you do now. So there's not a whole lot of change. It's just going to be the news will come out first, and then we'll have the GIA report a couple hours later, and you can watch both. You can watch some. You can see, you never know where Kim's going to be. It's like, where's Waldo, So,
Wally, if you're in Australia, apparently it's where's Wally.
Where's Wally in Australia? Okay, sorry. So, Wally, Waldo, where's Kim? We'll poke her head in every once in a while. So it'll still be just as informative as it is now, but it's going to be, I think you're going to really like it. And it'll be something that you can share with your friends and family, that are just waking up, and maybe in small doses. The other thing we are going to be doing, which may take us another week or so to do, but we are still going to have our New Earth section, but it's not going to be in the news. We're going to have a New Earth series that is coming out, which will be comprised of about, could be 3, could be 1, could be 2, just depending on how long the interviews are. It shouldn't be any more than, it'll be less than an hour every time we come out with those. And that'll be on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So you'll be able to hear more from us as we, every day, mostly every day. So you'll see Sunny in there. You'll see some new people. You'll also see other team members like Natalie, and we'll all be doing interviews in different parts of the world, all about various things that are New Earth. So new technologies, it could be new ways of living, it could be information that can affect your health and wellness, it could be anything. But all things New Earth, all things moving forward, all things that are available to you now or in the future, or things that scientists are working on, breaking things, meaning breaking news, new and exciting things. We're not going to have scientists breaking things on New Earth. No, that didn't come out right, did it?
I knew what you meant.
People breaking things. I know that there are days where I could do that show all by myself for 30 or 40 minutes, I can tell you. So we're still going to have all the great components that you love. It's just going to be more in depth. So, whereas our New Earth interviews are maybe 5 minutes, and, maybe they're going to be 10 minutes, maybe they'll be 20 minutes, depending on the subject. Right. Just depends on how long the interviews are going to be. So it's going to really give you more in-depth information about if someone's talking about options for grounding, or options for, health and wellness, or options, for anything really. You'll get more information. You'll also find out where to find those people, more information about them personally, maybe a short little biography in the beginning so we can get to know these people. So, some of the people you already know, some of the people will be new to you. But we definitely have a lot of interest in our New Earth series, especially from a lot of our vendors. Potential vendors that we have coming in, because honestly, there are things out there that are new that we don't know anything about. I mean, I was having a conversation with an optometrist that was telling me that, did you know that they make blue light glasses now that are prescription? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. Do you know that there's ones that block out UV rays now? No, I didn't know. And so they were telling me about things that I don't really wear regular glasses, but it'd be nice to maybe have a nice pair of sunglasses or something. I mean, we don't know, but I think it's important to really get information about everyday things that we all face, in one way or another, and possible solutions for that. So that's where New Earth comes in, cleaner water, things to filter out fluoride. I mean, all kinds of things we have coming up for you in those series. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so that is pretty much going to be our tentative structure. or framework, I should say, for how the news is going to be put out. So you're not going to be missing global intelligence reports. You're not going to be missing the news. And you're definitely not going to be missing Sunny. And you won't be missing me. Matter of fact, you'll be like, oh, can that Kim lady just go? You know?
You can tell she has more time on her hands.
I know. No, it's not that I have more time on my hands. I pretty much just stopped focusing as much on the day-to-day minutia with those people and a lot more on source, spending a lot more time, kind of more of like that ebb and flow, where it's a creative process. Yes, there are occasions where I do have to take phone calls. I do have to listen to these people, or I'm watching what they're doing and there's a potential dangerous situation like the cell phones and the kernels and stuff. So I take time out to do that kind of stuff. And it's not always timely, meaning it can happen anytime, day or night. But, it's not an everyday, it's not an all day long 15, 18 hour a day job focusing on them. It's a lot more of my focus is going on moving forward, because they're at a point right now where they're just kind of running around in a circle, and it's honestly the same thing over and over again. And there's a lot that goes on in this world that we don't hear about because the news wants to report drama all the time, because people watch drama. They like drama. I'd like to think that we are looking for what's really going on in the world, meaning there are great things that happen in the world all the time. Sure, there are things that happen in this world that are unfortunate, but developing resources so that we can prevent those unfortunate situations is really the key. So that's going to be our new news. Okay, so speaking of unfortunate situations, and it's not ours, so okay. Little bit more about the GIA, and I'm just giving you this clarification because there's a lot of people out there that were with the old GIA, even organizations that were with the old GIA, still claiming that they're global intelligence agency. But they've left some people scratching their heads. So the ones in the know that know about the global intelligence agency know that these are the people that could at a moment's notice transfer $1 billion to a country, $10 billion, $100 billion, $1 trillion, and based on the orders and charges. So these people have been around, in and around the UN General Assembly and other places in the world, barking out orders like crazy, but without any performance on their side. So it's left some people scratching their heads. Who are these people? They asked, I got a phone call from an attorney, let's just say attorney's office, that does represent a lot of different countries, a lot of politicians, a lot of, they handle sometimes relations between nations, and, whether it's in the corporate sector or in the political sector. And they started asking questions like, can I give you a list of the people that have called me and said that they were GIA, and can you confirm whether or not they're GIA? And I said, sure, I can confirm to you, unless their name is Tom Melville, that they're not GIA. Now, the reason why I can say that is because he is the only one that has been authorized at this point to actually come out and say he's Global Intelligence Agency. No one else has been authorized to do that. And if you try to look up Global Intelligence Agency, you will see that it's registered in every country, contrary to the lie that the State Department, for example, told this law firm, which eventually they were able to confirm was a lie. Mm-hmm. So, you're going to have the seventh floor of the State Department lie to you, because they are representing people that are pretending to be something they're not. Right. Now, if you would like answers to questions as far as these people are concerned, because there's a lot of people asking this question right now, how will you know if a GIA person is GIA or not? And I'll be like, okay, number one, if their name and identification does not identify them as Thomas Melville, and they tell you they're a global intelligence agency, they're not global intelligence agency, because there's no one else except for myself, because I can, as the director, can say to myself, self, I'm authorizing you to do something. And so now, self, we're going to go ahead and put out a global intelligence agency report. So if it's not one of the two of us, then it's a lie. Yeah. Because everybody else is out there doing their thing, and sometimes in different capacities. And that's what these people don't understand, is that we made a decision 10 years ago to change the world. We made a decision 10 years ago because we saw the fall of the fake GIA. We saw the fall of the SSP. We saw the fall of the ultimate global dictator in August of 2016. And that's when everything started to change. Now, moreover, for the last 3 or 4 years, we have been adding multiple agency people. So if you go in and you look up Global Intelligence Agency, you will see a couple of names, and then the rest of it will be Agent X. So unless you do a reverse lookup of a human, meaning you enter their passport number or something like that, then you'll know that that person is with Global Intelligence Agency, if I so choose to release the file. Because what happens is when they enter that information into the computer system, it sends me an alert. Mm-hmm. Now, I will go ahead and make a decision based on the current circumstances, because there'll be an immediate analysis that will happen about John Doe, whoever the agent is, and I will assess whether this is a threat situation, this is a situation where they're going to use that person or not, and then I will decide what kind of file I send out. I may send out a partial file, I may make a confirmation, I may not make a confirmation to you of who this person actually is. Because why? Because this is how a real intelligence agency operates. You protect your people. So unlike other agencies, when people are found out and they're, maybe in another country or something, they leave them for dead. Yeah. They chalk them up as dead. That's not how we do things here. So we're a little bit different in that way. We realize what everybody is getting into, and we run a very tight ship, and we're very good at what we do. Number two, most of our agents, let's just say not all, but some of our agents are trained to access the system in the field in a way that you would never expect. Meaning, if they are in distress, if they are having a problem, if they need a way out, if they need help, there are ways that we can communicate with the system. Doesn't matter where they are, and it doesn't matter what circumstances they could be in. They could be deep into a hole with lead protection from satellites, and I will find them. So, that's the GIA. So we also can access, of course, everything comes back to my desk. So if there is an agreement that's being made, then if we say we're going to send funds to fund X, Y, or Z, then we send them out to your country immediately. Not 2 days from now, not when there's another full moon, a new moon, a solstice, an equinox, or any other weirdo cultish holiday. We do things immediately. We're very effective. And if you fail to perform the function in which you've set out to do, then the money leaves. That's it. We can send out every single currency in the world. Any currency, we control them all. Because my other hat is the Office of the Currency Curator. So I know I can talk from my left hand to my right hand. I can make decisions. I can have a conversation with myself and say, self, do you want to send this particular party X amount of dollars? Why, yes, we do. And then I go ahead and do it. And if you fall flat on your face, like other operatives and other people that have come forward and said they were going to do one thing, lied through their teeth, went and tried to trade it behind my back, all they had to do was ask me, hey, look, we're going to trade these funds. We're going to, we don't need to, pay for it all out of the trust. Not like it matters because we have an infinite source of funds. So, but they, of course, always want to hide it, lock it down, pretend that it didn't exist, try to steal it, hide it under a rock, and try to trade it under the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. It's unnecessary because I will find you. And you never know who is going to rock up into your world when you're dealing with the Global Intelligence Agency. They could look like your best friend that you've known for 30 years, and they're really not. So we're really, really good at what we do, let's just say. Okay, so that's a little clarification on the Global Intelligence Agency. If we commit to doing something, within 20 minutes, you'll have it. And if you are dealing with a person that says they're Global Intelligence Agency and they're telling you to wait to next Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, guarantee you they are not Global Intelligence Agency. They are a bunch of has-beens that used to be Global Intelligence Agency that can't perform and didn't make the cut in the revised version. So that's who those people are. Now, speaking of the United Nations General Assembly, at this moment in time, there are a lot of people there shaking their heads. Now, we know that heads of state are going to start talking, I think it's today, and they will continue talking through the 30th. That is the final day, I believe, of the General Assembly. However, the official assembly began on September 10th, and of course, as we know, the operatives show up 2 weeks ahead of time and do a lot of negotiating. So these operatives have been meeting with a lot of fake Global Intelligence Agency people, a lot of people with the Secret Space Program, SSP, and they have been meeting with a lot of these attorneys that we're talking about, and been meeting with other operatives from all over the world, and they're being told that they should have had money by Monday. They should have had money by, the last full moon, the 17th. They should have had money by this day, by that day. And, they're really starting to sweat because it's now time to give the, I call it a sandwich. So they start out the assembly on TV and they talk about all the wonderful things the United Nations does. Now, if you're in any other country other than America where it is prohibited for the United Nations to act on U.S. soil, then you probably know them as a terrorist organization. And I would agree with you. But they start out their meeting, with the media and fluffy fluff. The Fed puts out, we're going to lower interest rates 0.5 point so everybody feels good about watching the UN and all the wonderful things they're going to do. And then they start going into all that's wrong with the world, always a theme, And then now the last few days, which is what we're going into, they're going to give you all their promises for the year. Every head of state gets up one after the other, and tells you about all the exciting things they're going to do. Except, unfortunately, the actors, known as heads of state, don't have anything nice to say. So that's why in the last 48 hours, they're now calling us. They would like to know more about CARE. They would like to know how we can help. And Mr. Melville, will you please come and attend the United Nations General Assembly? Because he's not that far. He's in New York. Come and sit down with us. Come help us, get out of our mess.
Yeah, exactly.
And the unfortunate part about the get out of our mess game is that I also have this little tiny intelligence agency and some key intelligence and military system that may have gotten some data and back phone calls about that coming from Langley 5. And coming from other people with the Order of the Black Sun, also coming out of Japan and other locations, to where, of course, these are all the people that are promising the money, behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And they would like to be the responsible party for creating the funding.
Oh, responsible party. Oh, okay.
Yes. And so Kim would be under the skirt of Langley 5, or under the skirt of the Japanese Black Dragon, or under the skirt of the Russians, or under the skirt of anybody, the Chinese. But I don't exist. So they're going to say, we funded you, country A. You know, I know what's going on here. And I'm sorry, I will not participate in your ridiculousness. You know, that kind of worked 10 years ago or 12 years ago. It doesn't work anymore. You know, it's not working for me because, see, ever since I got this whole system and, you know, the key intelligence and military system, and now I'm heavily participating in the intelligence game worldwide, I know every move that you're going to make. I know everything you're going to say before you even say it, and I'm not participating. So if you made a promise, then I suggest you figure out a way to solve your own problem.
Yep.
Or you will come out and you will actually call me by name. And if you make one wrong step, there will be severe consequences. And we might even ask for a marker if you're with the Order of the Black Sun this time, because I'm tired of getting stabbed in the back. So that's what's going on at the UN General Assembly at this moment. Not a gosh darn thing. A whole lot of hot air. Okay. So anyway, we'll have more of an update to tell you how that ends on Monday in our regular news. Won't that be exciting? Because that's regular news for people. You know, everybody knows who the UN is. So I can talk about that in the regular news and talk about more in-depth things in the GIA report. So there's that. Okay, on another note, I have something exciting to talk about. Mm-hmm. So around my time last night, it started around 10:30 at night.
Okay.
And what we started noticing was, I don't really know how else to explain it, other than what we call a golden blanket. So it's all of Source's life force coming in very heavily last night. And it started with a little spark over at the Iran-Iraq gate, the one we talk about where it all began. And it started spreading out. So as it started spreading out, the deep state started to realize, the high-ups, you know, this is not your Hillary Clinton people. Some of these people started figuring out what was going on.
Okay.
And there were some old lines that started ringing. Doesn't ring like a phone. It sends me an alert, you know, that there's an incoming transmission is how it works. And these people, some of them realized that they were addressing me. So last night I got offers of a private jet and a number of other things if I would just stop it or give them control over it.
Stop Source? Wait, let me understand. They want you to stop Source from the golden blanket.
Yeah, they would like me to stop Source. Even if I could. But the whole point is this is what we've been striving for. You know, we've been striving to allow for the full terraforming of Earth, the full changes, the full power of Source to, you know, be in direct contact with what we call Gaia, right? Earth.
Yeah.
I hate calling it Earth because Earth is actually a hologram, so it stands for something. But anyway, the planet we live on here. And the exciting thing about it was that that wasn't the only call. I also got some threatening calls from people that realized who they were calling. If they can't, they would like to own it. You know, and I don't know, I don't think they really understand what they're trying to own, because as this happens, what it actually does as well is give our golden age system more power, and it wipes out what is left of the other stuff. So this, maybe that's what they wanted to own. I'm not really sure. It wasn't. I don't think that they were clear, because I don't think that they knew what they wanted to own. But in any case, let me kind of explain this to you. So I call it a golden blanket, but it's so much more than that. So for those of you that have been following me for a while, I told you about a vision I had it was probably in 2014. So yeah, about a decade ago, 2014, 2015. And I think you probably remember me talking about this, Sunny, where I told you that the whole earth turns to gold and then it turns to green.
I don't know.
No?
I remember that. I don't know.
Okay. So after I was shown a succession of events that were going to happen. And in the succession of events, the first thing I saw was a war in what we call heaven, a war in heaven, meaning there was a gateway there, which I now know what that is. At the time, I'm looking at this going, oh, well, this can't be good. Those creatures are ugly, but there was a gateway at one point in time that existed that was created by what we call the ultimate black magician or the Destroyers group through Source itself, which allowed for it to pass into that small portion of that density. But from there, they only had access from the fifth density on down. So that includes us. They did not have access to those higher densities because those people or non-people know how to protect themselves. They would like to have had it extend beyond that. So there's a war in what we would call heaven, and this is the first event that happens. We win the war within heaven, and then the next thing that happens is I see myself in the middle of the desert. I know I'm somewhere on the border of Iran, Iraq, because this is before I learned about where the flower of life goes and the mound of gold, and I have a rod. I slam it into the ground 3 times, declare that the planet belongs to. You remember at this time I was Catholic girl.
I remember parts of this, yes.
Yep. So I have to, if you want to know the whole story, I'll retell the whole story in the next news, okay? But in this one here, I'm going to go ahead and stop it. But the part, at the end of it, I see 3 treasure chests fall, kind of in the middle. 3 treasure chests fall into the ground, and there are these smoky, I guess Tarzakians is what I call them, that were circling around trying to steal it, but they were unable to. So there were 7 coins that went out to the 7 continents, and that began bleeding the gold throughout the entire planet Earth. Well, that is the event that started taking place last night. And what it means by bleeding gold throughout the earth, it means the full 100% unencumbered life force of all that is Source, the Creator, started bleeding through Earth's veins, so to speak, in all that she is. What that means is Earth's 100% unencumbered, we do this, we do they do that to her, is beginning. So this is a really positive thing. And this occurred 3 days after the equinox. So the alignment started happening. It takes time for things to start to flow. We no longer have anything that's interfering with Source itself, not to say we don't with us, with Source itself, and the changes that Source is going to begin to make. So by the time I started this broadcast, I would say that it was somewhere around 80 some odd % complete. So it would start where sunrise, yeah. It was pretty much an overnight thing. It was interesting. So the next thing that should happen is we should start seeing a terraforming and more changes within Earth. So those changes have been taking place for a few weeks now as Source works his magic. But now was the time where I guess you would say he takes the reins. And the reins. R-E. Yeah. So this started happening last night. I don't have any more information on it other than that. He's, other than he kind of explained to me what it is and what it does, because it kind of caught me off guard. It's not like anybody told, asked me on my permission. But apparently the deep state thought that, to some degree, this has been something that has been an effort for the last 2 weeks. So it's not a total surprise that it happened. I'm grateful and thankful, because essentially this is the part where the oil is spilled, because it looks almost oil-like to me, but with that life force sparkles in it, like the ones you see in the sky.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's like, a plasma, gold plasma. So I think this is going to be the beginning of something very special for Earth and very special for humanity. So I think we're going to start to see, and this is what I was talking about a couple weeks ago. I just never, when you're in the time of no time, it's hard to say, okay, well, it's going to be 3 days and this will be done. Mm-hmm. I've kind of learned that a little bit. And this is where that human side of me says, well, okay, time, chop, 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 chop. We got things to do. I'm sick and tired of hearing this. Like, come on, And I've seen comments like that too in our threads, and I appreciate what you're saying more than you know. And I hear your frustration. I too am very frustrated sometimes, and that's the humanness in me, But I also know that changes happen exactly at the right time. And I was surprised by this one last night. I'm like, why are these people calling, this line that hasn't been used in a long time? So it's interesting.
Why were they calling on that particular line? Was it a different group of people?
Well, I think they were trying to reach a different being.
Oh, and then they got you.
Yeah.
She has every phone number.
I know. I'm glad you called, but I'm not home. Remember those cheesy little things from the 1980s? I'm glad you called, but I'm not home.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, it's just me. But then they proceeded to offer me all kinds of cool stuff. I've never...
It's so frustrating to me that they just try to own everything. They see something that they think can be used that would make them more powerful, and their first thought is to own it. Like, I don't resonate with that at all. I know that's their whole thing, but it's just so deep state of them to say something like that.
Their first thought is, this is for us.
Yeah.
Everything is for us.
Yeah.
Everything that happens in this world happens for us. The sun rises and sets on their backside, of course, and only when they say.
Yeah.
So that's the attitude that they come in. That's the first thought.
Yeah.
The second thought is, well, gee, if this was for us, then we should be able to control it. Oh. There must be a typing error. Let me call the hotline and see who answers the phone, which being answers the phone. And I'm going to call and complain,
right.
that I'm sorry, you must have forgotten to give us access because everything happens for us.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. No. You remember that phone call you made to me about 2 years ago where you said you wanted to go it alone? And I said, okay.
Yeah, I meant it. Go ahead.
We built a strong intelligence agency. We have built new systems outside old systems. We have torn down matrices and holograms and all kinds of stuff that have happened in the last couple of years. And you know what? People are seeing a difference. I got a call from a friend of mine that lives in an area, northern U.S., let's call it northern U.S. Mm-hmm. And in this particular area, they are going into the fall season, and things are... leaves are falling off the trees and that kind of thing. But in this random area, all the lilac bushes are blooming, which is completely and totally unusual.
Yeah, that would be more like a spring thing, probably.
Yes.
Huh.
They're going through a second bloom.
Oh, interesting.
And she was like, well, I can't explain it. Can you explain it? I'm like, nope. We're seeing deserts. There are reports out there that part of the Sahara Desert can be seen from satellites, and it's turning green. We've seen a lot of rainfall, which has caused some problems, but, we're seeing things pop up in the Middle East and, that have not been there before. We are seeing earth changes, and I can't wait to see her get her full new shoes and see what happens next. I mean, we may be shocked with what happens next. So
yeah, because you're talking about terraforming, and my first thought was not only changing the land, but new land showing up.
Mm-hmm.
And I got really excited. I was like, oh, because so much of our planet is water now, and maybe there's a reason for that. I'm not sure, but
somewhat, yes.
The idea of having more land, that's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, maybe there is. I mean, we don't know. There are old maps and old things out there that show the world looking a different way. And they show all the continents together, and they show, less separation and that kind of thing. And, there are geophysical reasons. There are reasons for the amount of water we have on the planet. And part of the reason for that is because of our atmosphere. And our atmosphere has changed in the way that moisture, because we need that as humans.
Yeah.
I know I was so sad, Sonny. I had to turn my heat on, and I dread it every year because I'm like, oh, here comes the insanely, just dry
feeling,
liter of water in the middle of the night drinking time of the year. Here we go. But, I mean, I got a humidifier and it's okay. But but we would just, as humans, we need that moisture in the air. Plants need that moisture in the air. Technically before, a long time ago, we had the right amount of moisture in the air, in the atmosphere, and it didn't really require heavy rains or the kind of weather we see these days. It wasn't like that. Those are things that take time. So we'll see. There has to be a balance between the amount of water and moisture that goes into the atmosphere and comes out of the atmosphere and relocated to other places because, war after war after war here, and there's been many over millions of years, we have seen a lot of devastation. Earth has seen a lot of devastation. So hopefully, we'll see what Source has planned. I mean, I wish, I only learn things when I'm supposed to know them. I don't learn them an hour beforehand. I don't learn them too late. I learn them right on time every single time. And then I report, as it relates to the big positive changes that are happening on the planet. As it relates to, the deep state and whatever is left of black magic workers and all these crazy people out there. I mean, that's easy to report because that's a happening. That's a now event. That's an event that has crossed through the etherical plane, so I can see it formulating in someone's thought process on the emotional plane now. And I know where they're going to be next week. I can tell you. You want to know where they're going to be next week?
Sure.
Well, there's a new moon coming up soon, everyone. Well, there's a full moon coming up really soon. Oh, by the way, the solstice is in December, and there's an alignment with 3 planets coming up in November, and that's going to make everything happen. That's where they're going to be. And you know where they're going to be 20 years from now?
Same place.
There's a full moon, and there's a new moon, and there's an alignment with Uranus, and, the spring's equinox is coming, and,
That's their world. Yeah.
Yeah. We all need to stand there with 2 crystals in our hands at the appropriate location next Tuesday, because that will help us get control of this planet. Yeah. Yeah. That's where they're going to be. But us, that is not the case. So
the question about the source blanket, the golden blanket that we have now, how, and I know this stuff hasn't happened before, so we're somewhat guessing, but how will that impact humanity? Obviously, we'll be impacted by things that happen in our environment or to the planet, but do you have any idea? I mean, and I'm asking this because last night I had a really crazy day yesterday, and it was late, like it was like 10 o'clock or something last night, and I felt so rejuvenated. And I'm going, I should be going to bed. Like, I felt like I could have run around and done flips if I could do flips. I had all this energy, and I was like, I should be dog tired right now. So tired, just limping to bed. And now I'm kind of wondering if there was a connection there, and if we can expect more of that.
You know, I think so too, because funny enough, you know, I had gotten up really early. I had not slept for 2 days in a row. I was so tired. I had one of those nights where it was just like everything was going on the night before last. And you know what? Everything was going on last night too, but it didn't, you know, I fell asleep maybe for like an hour. I was watching a movie, you know, in my room, and I fell asleep maybe for about an hour, and then by 10:30 I was up again. But it wasn't like an abrupt thing. It was almost like a, hey, you may want to see this, and then the phone started ringing, not the phone, but you know, the lines, they started ringing and that kind of thing. And that went on for off and on for about 4 or 5 hours last night. But I really didn't feel bad. Now, to be fair, I'll tell you on my side of it, I got these grounding sheets. You know, everybody talks about grounding sheets. So I started trying one of those last night. Someone had given me one for my birthday, and I was like, oh, you know, I mean, after the 2 nights before, I'm like, I'm getting the sheets. I got the oils out here. I got the cream, the magnesium cream for my feet. I've set the tone. I'm like, I just need one night of sleep, and it didn't happen, but completely. But I actually didn't mind.
Yeah.
So, Sunny, I don't, you know, it could be a combination of both. But the one thing I am interested in trying over the next couple of days is, you know, this grounds you into the earth. So maybe they worked on turbo for me like last night because of the new things that are happening. But, you know, I'm really interested to kind of like go take a walk and, you know, barefoot and see what a difference that makes. I mean, you know, It's gonna be interesting to feel that different energy.
So you said what, we're at 80 or so percent?
Yeah, and it's kind of gone from that area. It came out kind of in an elliptical shape. So it kind of expanded out through like to China and then to into the Atlantic Ocean. And then it kind of started going up and over the poles.
Okay.
You know, coming from that side of the world, and then kind of started closing in on the U.S., Asia Pacific, because like areas like Hawaii before you cross the date line, because it started where it started and how it seems to be moving goes in a, I guess it would be coordinated with both dawn and dusk, because those are the times when source is most present. Okay. So it was either dusk over there in, say, Australia area, China area at that time, or dawn starting over here in the U.S., and then it just started kind of going all around. As far as I know, there are still areas of the U.S. where it hasn't reached yet, and also areas of Latin America where it hasn't reached yet, at least at the time of this recording. So we'll see. You know, we'll see how long it takes. We'll see what happens next. If it happens like the vision, then the world is supposed to turn green, you know, in a good way, not in like a, oh, here's a demon way, you know, like in a good way.
Yeah, the deep state's going to take that and be like, green money. We're supposed to get money.
No. And if that's the case, it won't be for them. It'll be for, you know, people with some different kind of intentions. And, you know, I don't know. I wish them all the luck in the world. I really do. Good luck. So it's going to be interesting to see what these proposals are that may or may not be coming forward. Will they figure out that? Will they figure out that they need to start changing, do something different? Probably not. They're probably going to try to figure out a way to take credit for everything and keep it rolling, for a while longer. But
it seems to be their plan, is just to try to take ownership of something or pretend you do have ownership of it.
Yeah.
Try to convince other people. But it's so ridiculous because they can't control it. Like, it's so easy to disprove. It's just not, something's wrong. Something's wrong up there.
Yep, I know. God bless them. God bless those people. But, I know they've already tried, like, using our clearance, using GIA clearance. Tom's the only one they can actually identify with that actually talks to me, that actually is GIA. So they call him a lot, trying to get him to show up places. Look, the GIA is here. I told you we were GIA. We're GIA too, aren't we? Yeah, no. Well, we'll see how this interesting gift, which I've kind of known about for some time. We also in the past have had the opposite happen, where we would have had a blanket of anti-source a long time ago. And it had a connection to an SSP base under the Aegean Sea. So, and then they would kind of circulate it throughout the earth. That was kind of like the circulation center for them. So hopefully now it's not in their control. They would like to, but that's not going to happen. And we'll see what happens over the next 24 hours. I think it's going to be interesting. I think Friday's news is going to be interesting because, I'm glad you're going to be here for that one, Sunny.
I know. Gosh, things are ramping up, and then you're going to be doing your own thing. I'm going to be like everybody else. Watch Kim's video. When's Kim's video coming up?
refresh.
Exactly.
Oh, come on.
That's okay.
I know. I'm really looking forward to watching your news too.
Yeah. Good changes. Good stuff coming up. We're excited. Whole team's excited.
It is. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody shine. Our full field messenger reports, not shorter ones. Yeah. So it's going to be great for all of you. Be great for our field messengers. Now you all know. So, we look forward to seeing those reports. We'll see, everybody will, depends, but most people, if it's if the video's good and all that kind of stuff, and you'll have help with that, will be shown in the news now. It's not going to be kind of like a la carte all the time. So we'll see.
Yep, and a lot more opportunities for you guys to get involved in the news and participate. Field messenger reports. I'll be doing more shout outs. Hey, we're, looking for people to talk about this, or hey, can you record a video about this? Share your experience about this. So, because we're the face of news.
Speaking of sharing my experience, I know about a report you're doing on Monday that talks about a certain alleged scientist.
A very popular alleged scientist.
A very popular alleged scientist that allegedly made these Cybertrucks.
Yes.
So I'm not going to spoil the whole story for next week, but it was hilarious that you had texted me asking about information about this. So I'm like, well, I'm out and about. I'm running a couple of errands. And I'll be right back. So I'm out and about, and what pulls up behind me?
Cybertruck.
The same color as the one in the picture you sent me. It didn't have the giant, weapon on the back, but at least not exposed that I know of. This is wild, wild west over here in Durango, Colorado, but the same truck.
That's so funny. In Durango,
same color,
small town like that, you had is that not a common? See, I see them in San Diego a lot, but that's probably
not
common.
I have not seen one yet.
Oh, and it happened right. See, synchronicity.
I know. It must be a good story.
Yeah.
So you see those Cybertrucks running all around San Diego?
I mean, it's not all around, but I've seen maybe 10 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is old hat for you. I thought I was reporting something exciting. Matter of fact, I grabbed my cell phone, but it was following me. It was behind me. So I'm like, oh, crap. I'm like, I have dark tinted windows in the back, so I can't go that route. So I'd have to like stick my arm out the window and, kind of like try to catch a video. I was going to be a good field messenger for you and get some videos.
Oh, trust me, there's plenty of video of Cybertrucks everywhere.
Oh, really?
We're trying to promote that, and
this was tan with the same color window. It was the same exact vehicle.
That's funny.
None of them have the big artillery on the back like that other particular one.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
You don't? Okay.
No.
Well, you are near a military base, so you never know.
You never know. No, I haven't seen anything like that. I think they're all consumer. Yeah, for the people.
Oh, okay.
That's like the latest and greatest. It's like everyone's got to have whatever tech gadget there is, right?
I know.
This is just a very big statement. Looks uncomfortable to me. I don't know. That's just, I don't know. That's just me personally, but some people like to make a statement that way.
And a statement. It's a statement for sure.
It is.
Yes. I am driving a vehicle.
A tank, pretty much.
I know. And it puts the Hummer to shame. You remember the Hummer days when everybody had a Hummer? Yeah. Especially like in your area. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now there's a new one in town.
Yeah.
But it has some interesting little features you may not want. So.
Right. Exactly. That's what the story's about.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Okay. Yes, we will.
So hopefully we'll have some more information about this new incoming situation on Friday.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I look forward to Friday. Thank you, Kim.
Me too.
Friday.
Sounds good.
Want to share news from UNN? Help us change the face of social media and use it for good. Connect with us through our online channels. Our social media team creates clips from each newscast you can easily share with people you care about. That's also where you'll find our UNN Meme of the Day, a great way to encourage critical thinking. Links to all our social media sites are available at the bottom of our website at unitednetwork.earth. Let's change the face of news together.
That wraps up today's news update. Please share UNN with your friends and family. We need everyone to come together and help restore our planet. When news happens in your area, record and share it with us so together we can change the world. Remember, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I'm Sunny Galt. Join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the real news.